Wisconsin town, and this live telecast made possible by Sears Hawaii, proud sponsor of UH Wahine Volleyball, Sears, Ala Moana, Pearl Ridge, Woodward Mall, Queen Kahumanu, Prince Kuhio, and Kukui Grove. Sears Hawaii, good life, great price. And right across the street from Lambeau Field, we're inside the Resch Center, where you see some of the Hawaii faithful among a sea of red. Many folks who made it the 2.5-hour drive up from Madison, Wisconsin, up here to Green Bay, Wisconsin, site of this regional. The starting lineups, first for Hawaii, Susie Bogart, Alicia Arnott, Kanoe Kamana'o at center, Harry Gregory getting the start in the middle, along with Tara Hiddle, and of course the hot-hitting Victoria Prince. For Wisconsin, Aubrey Murato will be on the outside, and Maria Carlini will also be with her. Jackie Simpson, a freshman, will get the start at center. Odenthal will be an opposite. Reineke, that's another freshman, a middle blocker. And Sheila Shaw, that is their all-everything. And the starting lineup's brought to you by the Bank of Hawaii. Whatever your goals are, we're here to help you succeed. Head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, Pete Waite, in his 6th season. And of course, in his 30th season, head coach of the University of Hawaii Rainbow Wahine, Dave Shoji. And Dave, our keys to the game. There's Dave.
Dave Shoji gave me these keys to the game, brought to you by 7-Eleven for Hawaii. The first key is precision passing. Get that ball up to Kanoe Kamana'o so she can set the attack and balanced attack from a number of hitters. Flipping it over for Wisconsin, their first key, serve it up and serve it tough. Make Hawaii pass it bad. And the second, they just want to play defense, gobble up those balls, and get digs. Those are your 7-Eleven keys to the game. 7-Eleven, we're coming through for you.
And we're set for semifinal number 2, Wisconsin and Hawaii. The service by Murato, picked up by Bogart. Kamana'o, step out move by Prince, and Prince nails it home for Hawaii's first point.
Victoria Prince, we've seen the slide step or step out a number of times from her. It was deadly in the WAC tournament in Reno, and here, the first kill comes on that. It is so tough to stop because she's in movement. The block has to pick a spot and defend it.
Here comes Wisconsin to set outside to Odenthal, picked up by Hawaii. Set again to Odenthal with the left hand, and that's right in front of Tara Hiddle. And the crowd appreciates that.
Odenthal off the back set, double block nowhere near being formed, and she finds the court easy.
Jocelyn Wack, the libero with the serve. Kamana'o outside to Arnott. Arnott wants it off the hands. Nope, they're not going to get it. Point Wisconsin.
We've seen this from Arnott, sometimes getting off to a slow start. I expect to she'll find her rhythm very quickly. The La Pietra graduate.
Kamana'o, quick set in the middle to Gregory. Gregory finds success early in the middle.
Carrie Gregory, the freshman, splitting time with Juliana Sanders and Melody Ekmeyer to form a blocking machine. She averages nearly 2 kills a game.
They'll be called on a little bit later on in this match as the set goes inside to Sheila Shaw. And Sheila Shaw, who's been averaging almost 4 kills per game, gets one to go down.
Gregory should have pushed over the net a little bit more, caught too much on her side of the net, and Shaw was able to power it off the hand.
Speaking a little bit too much power, that service by Wack goes long. That's a point for Hawaii, and this match is all tied up at 3-3. On the service line now, Alicia Arnott. Jump serve, hits the tape, still in play. Set by Simpson, back set to Shaw. And she's met by a double block by Gregory and Bogart.
Great double block by the Wahine. In practice yesterday, we saw numerous blocking drills as they worked hard to make sure it was tight. Forehands across the net. Great defense.
Arnott with 32 aces on the year, serves it up. And that's a blast by Kalini, saved by Hawaii. And Arnott will safely play it over. Here's Simpson. Out to Kalini again, and Kalini off the block and down, and a point for the Badgers.
Carlini, one of those converted players, started out as a middle blocker and in the spring switched to outside hitter. Saw that use of the hand outside the blocker. Great job of seeing that.
Kalini from Ontario, Canada, as the Wahine attack, and the Badgers easily pick it up. This is Murato, and Hawaii has to safely play it over, and Bogart does. And there's Gregory with a touch of the net. Fans angle touch, but they're not going to get it, as now Hawaii has to play. There's a crash in the stanchion, and it's an out ball, and it's a point to Hawaii. Oh, dangerous play there, just under the up referee.
Gregory doing a good job of staying home and noticing that the center for Wisconsin was attacking that ball and pushed it back over.
Puts Tessa Fortu at the service line. The libero, the senior from Laie. Here comes Murata, double block. Gregory, the bump. Kamana'o, back set right to Hiddle in the middle. And picked up by Whack. Here's Shaw. Dug up by Kamana'o in the back row. Outside to Bogart with the right hand. Dug up by Whack. There's Simpson. Quick set. No. 4 hits. Has a little timing problem as Shaw could not come up with the spike on the pass from Simpson.
First time we're going to have net cam, the reverse view in this game. Missed timing on the quick set there. And remember, we got young players. Freshman setter for Wisconsin, sophomore setter for Hawaii, but of course, we're a little biased toward that Hawaii setter. She's all-world.
And here's that all-world setter. Kamana'o beats Gregory. And Gregory is roofed at the net. A fine double block.
Bogart actually getting blocked on the reverse net cam there. She really should have turned it toward the line, and she saw herself shaking her head. That's because she knew she hit it right into the thick of things.
Hawaii with a 1-point lead as Bogart goes off the block and out of bounds to make that a 2-point Hawaii lead.
There you go, using the block, wiping it off instead of challenging it right at the angle. You have to have a variety of shots. It's not always straight down.
Hawaii, of course, making it into this regional semifinal with victories over Colorado and Purdue. Purdue out of the Big Ten. Same conference that these Badgers are from.
Give Tara Hiddle a semi-ace. The tough serve forced the bad play on Wisconsin, and then Victoria Prince. The hot-hitting Victoria Prince getting her second kill of the match, excuse me.
Hiddle, the freshman, hits it into the net. It's an unforced error, serving error by Hawaii. Now Wisconsin trails by 2. Simpson, the server. Fortu, Kamana'o. Prince wanted to redirect that, but it hits the tape, falls back on Hawaii's side, and now Wisconsin is within 1.
Prince had the right idea. She saw the double block, taking away her angle. Tried to cut it back with the tip shot, but not enough.
Fine job by Kamana'o, as that was going to be an overpass and a joust to the net, and it falls on the Badgers' side. Point for the Rainbow Wahine.
How about the 5'8", Kamana'o winning the battle at the net there.
She can block and serve as Bogart's serve goes wide. And that's the second straight serving error by the Rainbow Wahine. Murata serves, Bogart. Kamana'o, step out move by Prince. Oh, dug up by Simpson, but that ball is out. And UH leads it 10-8.
Victoria Prince doing a good job, and remember, just a few days ago, she had flu-like Simpsons. That'd be the TV show, wouldn't it?
Symptoms.
But she's just making them go dope right now. And the third serve is going to make Dave Shoji go dope.
Dave Shoji along the sidelines over there on the far side, wondering what has happened to my service game. 3 straight Hawaii service errors is keeping Wisconsin in this game 1. Kamana'o to Arnott. They want a touch, no touch. Point Wisconsin, and the Badgers have crawled back into this one, tying it up at 10 apiece. It's Jocelyn Whack at the service line. Notice, Dave, all the serves coming real short as Gregory comes up with her 3rd kill of this match.
Gregory not known to provide that much offense, more of a blocking play for Hawaii. That's going to be good because that will hold the middle block of Wisconsin and open up holes on the outside.
But watch the serving pattern by Wisconsin as they're trying to get Hawaii out of its passing rhythm as that goes through the double block. A fine hit by Odenthal.
Gregory getting caught too far on her side of the net, not even close to pressing that ball over the top.
Hiddle. Kamana'o, back set to Arnott. Arnott, dug up by Odenthal. Simpson, outside to Carlini. She thought somebody else was going to get it. Free ball for Hawaii. Outside to Hiddle with the right hand. Dug up by Whack in the back. Here comes Shaw. And that ball is dug over. Overpass by Kamana'o. And a point for Wisconsin. and Wisconsin takes the lead.
That's rare that Kanoi doesn't control that dig, averaging more than 3 digs per game.
She's a tough serve, but Bogart comes up with it. And that's going to be tried to play it off the net in vain by Wisconsin. And that's a point for the Rainbow Wahine. And it puts on the service line Alicia Arnott, a 6-foot sophomore out of La Pietra. Service, they finally get one in. Here comes a high set to Kalini, and Kalini goes off the block.
Kalini turning her shot toward the line and wiping it off the block of Hiddle. Hiddle's got to turn that right hand in and redirect the ball into the court.
Member of Canadian junior national team, Maria Kalini. That'll be a quick set, but Gregory can't come up with it. Here comes Shaw! Sheila Shaw, the old Big Ten performer and co-captain.
The Big Ten's best blocker can also deliver some heat. You see the hole that the block that gave up, and she found it and put it down.
Bogart, Kamanao, back set to Hiddle. Hiddle goes line, and it's out. And Wisconsin now on a 4-0 run.
Here it is, Hiddle coming into your living room, out of bounds.
And we'll be back to Green Bay right after this. Odenthal, Carlini.
Let's have the inside track on Victoria Prince for Hawaii. This is the hard work she's putting into it. The step out or slide move. That was one of her 3 kills on the match. 3 kills off of 4 attempts. She is hitting 500. The inside track brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. The power of yes is the power of possibilities.
Of course, Hawaii fans hoping that Victoria Prince can keep up that torrid pace that she set back at the WAC tournament, where she was the WAC MVP of that particular tournament, hitting a phenomenal percentage. As Gregory goes in the line, saved by Kalini. Here comes the Badgers, and Morano gets it over, and Fotu can't come up with it.
Fotu caught in between there as the off-speed shot didn't come up to her. She had to try and get her body up there, but it just wouldn't go.
Wisconsin now on a 6-0 run here, and Hawaii looking to stop the bleeding. As Carlini serves, Kamanao outside the Bogart. That'll be a net violation and a point for Hawaii. Oh, that was quite a collision right there at the net.
Well, what happened was Bogart pounded the ball off the double block, and off that block, the deflection hit the antenna. Out ball, point Hawaii.
Putting Tessa Fotu at the service line. The libero serves. Simpson has the back set to Susan Shaw. And Shaw wanted to go line, and it is out. And now Hawaii crawling back. They were down by 4. Now trailed only by 2. Substitution into the game for Hawaii. That is the senior, number 8, Melody Eckmeyer. Eckmeyer, 6'3" senior, come in for some blocking power. Oh, that serve looked like it was going out. Outside to Morado. And whoa, she goes with a laser beam on a cross-court shot.
Morado finding the smallest of seams in the block there. Prince couldn't quite make the seal. She put the ball right there. It was no bigger than that ball.
Service by Carlini. Fotu. Kamanao. Step out move for Prince, and right there was Carlini. Back to the 3-meter line is Odenthal. And Odenthal catches everyone on the Hawaii side napping.
Further proof that it doesn't always have to be fast to be effective. Off speed, usually the ball when it's over your shoulders is out, but with the pace taken off, you find the line.
Hawaii catches a break there as Sheila Shaw, known for her blocking and hitting, sends one into the net. Substitution into the game for the Rainbow Wahine, and that'll be number 14, Kelly Ogg, the 5'5" freshman from Oakland, California. Of course, in that last game against Purdue, she serves 10 straight points, including a pair of aces. Tough serve there as Simpson will go cross-court over to Wack. Here comes Hawaii, outside to Bogart. Bogart puts it down right in front of a diving Jocelyn Wack, and it's a Hawaii point.
Susie Bogart playing with some emotion. I like that. Getting the kill, fired up. Got to take it to another level when you're in the regional semifinals.
And that was Bogart's first kill of this game. As Hawaii saves that ball, Bogart again off the double block. Here comes Simpson outside to Murano, goes cross-court. Kelly Ogg can't come up with it. And another point for the Badgers.
Ong playing the outside defense there. Didn't come on the angle, and they've tried to reach for the ball at the last second, but you saw what happened. Couldn't get around on it.
Substitution in for Hawaii. Tara Hiddle comes in for Kelly Ogg as the Badgers put it in play. Kamana'o makes the best of a bad situation there. As Murata is stuffed at the net, both by Prince and Kamana'o.
Kamana'o at 5'8". They think you can take advantage of her, but she's an excellent blocker, and there with a little help from Victoria Prince. Great double block from the Wahine.
Susie Bogart with a great jump serve. And here comes the Badgers. And Jill Odenthal. Boy, they haven't had an answer for her there on the right side. And Odenthal picks up her third kill.
Odenthal powering it through the double block. Wisconsin doing a good job of sending the ball to the left and right. Victoria Prince is having to work hard to try and close it.
Kamana'o are not off the block. Can Simpson come up with it? No. That was a nice try by Jackie Simpson, the 6-foot freshman setter, as she tried to bring that ball back into play. That'll put Victoria Prince on the line, the team leader in aces with 37 on the year. Prince, great serve as it dips just below the 3-meter line. A lift call violation on the Badgers, and a point to Hawaii. Now the Rainbow Wahine down only one.
Reverse net cam showing you it could have been a lift, or it was also her falling into the net. Either way, point to Hawaii.
And Hawaii trails by 1, 19 serving 20. Prince serve. Carlini, Simpson, back out to Odenthal. Odenthal, great pancake, get out the spatula. Here we go, Odenthal, left-handed smash, saved in the back row by Bogart, outside to Arnett, saved by Wack. Here come the Badgers. Carlini off the double block and out. They took advantage, tried to take advantage of Kanoi Kamana'o, but that block is out.
All right, Aunt Jemima time. Victoria Prince sliding in there, gets the hand and pops it up. Then Alicia Arnott tips it over. But the Badgers got a great kill to end that rally.
A reach over the net by Maria Carlini at the net. Didn't allow Kamana'o a chance to set that ball. It's a point for the Rainbow Wahine. 20 serving 21 now. Kamana'o at the line. Floater right in the middle. Wack. Simpson outside to Odenthal. And Odenthal. Jill Odenthal, a 6-foot senior from Geneva, Illinois, and boy, she's had all the answers thus far from the right side.
No double block there. Again, with the spread out offense of the Badgers, Hawaii's middles are having a hard time getting to the left and right.
That smash will go off a double block. And the pro-Wisconsin crowd here didn't like that.
There's a lot of red in the seats here. It's not all Stanford either.
And even Bucky the Badger, the mascot, made it up here. Of course, it's only a 2.5-hour drive down to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Wisconsin. And Alicia Arnott. Another service error by Hawaii.
Ask how many that is. 6.
And that is 6 serving errors on Hawaii thus far. Carlini, Bogart, Kamana'o, back to Bogart, off the block, and that won't be coming back. Point Hawaii. And it's a good thing because the Rainbow Wahine Down one here in game number one. 22 serving 23, Fotu. Dug up by Carlini. Outside to Murata. And Hawaii can't get that block to come back over. And Wisconsin goes up two, 24-22. Shaw, service. Dug up by Hiddle. Coming out, step out move. Prince goes cross court and out. And Dave Shoji has seen enough. He'll call a timeout. 25-22, Wisconsin. We'll be back to Green Bay right after this. We are back live, Green Bay, Wisconsin, site of the Green Bay Regional. And the second semifinal between Hawaii and the University of Wisconsin, the winner to play the University of Stanford tomorrow in the regional championship game. Stanford, of course, getting past Texas, surprisingly, 3-0. But here in this match, Wisconsin, thanks to a host of serving and hitting errors by the Rainbow Wahine, lead 25-22. Sheila Shaw, the all-Big Ten performer for Wisconsin. Service coming now over to Prince, who barely got a hand on it. Back outside to Murata. Prince, and a good job by Prince as that ball was going over and she barely got her hand on it. Tipped it into the backcourt.
Prince, the transfer from Washington State, everybody knows that story by now, was one of the best blockers in the Pac-10 before landing in Hawaii. And you see why she's one of the best blockers.
23, serving 25. Dave Shoji wants a substitution. We're going to bring in Kelly Ong in for Tara Hiddle. Ong will go to the service line. Gets it over. Off serve. Dug up by Odenthal. Outside to Murata. Murata stopped by Prince and Kamanao.
Prince doing a great job of not going for the fake there in the middle, getting outside and pressing over, making that double block even more effective.
And a timeout on the court, and we'll be back. Hawaii trails by 1. A lot of Wisconsin fans made the drive up from all over the state. In fact, Wisconsin is 3rd in the nation in attendance with about 4,000 fans per game. Of course, Hawaii, number 1, averaging 7,100 per game back at the stand, Sheriff Center. So the folks in Wisconsin certainly love their volleyball and certainly love their badges.
But But there's a good crowd of Hawaii people, hardcore. Herman Frazier, Marilyn Moniz Kohoanahano, both here in attendance watching the game, the athletic directors from the U of H.
And my good friend Rich Sheriff sitting right next to me as Wisconsin now on the attack. And getting to go down is Taylor Reinecke, another one of those freshmen that come in and been a big support and big help for these Badgers.
A good freshman, a Fab 50 pick coming out of high school. She's trained with the U.S. Youth National Team. That's how good she is.
Service by Simpson, dug up by Fotu. Step out for Prince, and Prince gets it to go down despite the double block. We're in prime time, everyone, as Wisconsin now 4 points away from wrapping up game one. Hawaii hopes to have an answer here, as the set will go back to Odenthal. Whack with the dig. Simpson back outside to Murado. Murado as Bogart digs up. Back set now to Hiddle. Hiddle hits in the middle, but dug up by Whack. Pressing the backcourt is Prince in the middle. And there's a great dig by Whack as they go outside of Odenthal. And Odenthal finds it to go down between Bogart and Fotu. And that's her 6th kill of this game. Jill Odenthal, one of the veterans, the very few veterans on this Wisconsin team. Murado set to serve. Hiddle, Bogart, not. And that one's not coming back.
Arnott, a little anger on that shot there, taking it up a notch. Take a look for yourself. Turning it toward the line and putting some pace on that ball.
Substitution in the game for Dave Shoji. Will be Kerry Gregory back in the game. Obviously for more blocking power at the net. As Prince will now serve it. Top serve, and it's an ace! An ace for the Wahine team leader. That is her 38th of the year. So Victoria Prince, who had 7 kills in that second round game against Purdue, hoping to get the Rainbow Wahine back into this one as it's tied. 27-27. Oh, and another service error. This is not high altitude country like up in Fort Collins. The ball doesn't sail as much. They got to put a little bit more under it.
But that's part of the Hawaii attack. Serve tough, and when you serve tough, you take chances like that. She did get the ace before that.
Badgers now 2 points away from wrapping up game one. Kamanao outside to Arnott. It goes out off the Wisconsin block.
Arnott, a very smart shot. Going high hands and wiping it off the double block instead of trying to powering it down. If she had gone down, the roof was there.
Timeout on the court. 28, Wisconsin. 28, Hawaii. We're here in game number one live from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Let's have our inside track on Kanoi Kamanao. She is working hard, calling the offense. First Hawaiian Bank bringing you that inside track. Kanoi moving all over the court, looking for the pass. Here she gets it, fires a low one out to the outside. And there, I like that. She congratulates her teammates. The inside track brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. The power of yes is the power of possibilities. And no doubt, Kanoi Kamanao is the engine for the Wahine machine.
In speaking with some of the other coaches, both from Texas, Stanford, and also from Wisconsin, that's all they wanted to talk about was Kanoi Kamanao and how, what a player this young person from Iolani School has become.
Special player. She can turn the worst pass into a great set. The hitters gotta love it because she always puts the ball in a great position for them to attack it. She can side set it, back set it, you name it. But then again, she's a complete player because she can block and she digs. Very lucky to have her at Hawaii.
One of the reasons why Kanoi Kamanao voted WAC Player of the Year in 2004.
And of course, she's an ABCA All-West Regional player along with Victoria Prince, which qualifies them for All-America honors. Simply outstanding.
Kamanao. Service. Whack. Simpson. Outside to Shaw. And Bogart can't come up with it. And now Wisconsin one away from wrapping up game one. And the Wisconsin faithful are all on their feet. Oldenthal, Fotu. To Sanders. And the seldom used middle, the freshman, puts it down. And we will go into extra play.
How's that for having confidence in your redshirt freshman? Kanoy not afraid to center, catching Wisconsin off guard.
Arnott whack with the dig. Simpson outside to Kalini. Off the block. Kanoy is there. Hitto will set up Arnott from the back row. Oh, a fine dig from Kalini. And Shaw goes middle attack. And Kamana'o can pick up the loose ball. And now, Wisconsin with their second game point opportunity. Carlini, Fotu. Kamana'o has to make a difficult pass. Here comes Bogart, goes cross court. Whack saves it in the back. Here's Oldenthal going outside to Benson. It's out. It's in. And Wisconsin, ranked 14th coming into this tournament, surprises the University of Hawaii, taking game one by a count of 31-29. Hitting errors both from the field and from the service line has cost UH, and they'll have to rally in game two. And we'll be back to Green Bay right after this. Oh, the upper Midwest, a fine place for outside activities. Of course, the folks here in Green Bay are waiting for a good dusting of snow as we're back inside the Resch Center here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and time for our game one stats, Dave.
Close stats, as you expect in a close game. Wisconsin 20 kills to Hawaii's 18. A better hitting percentage, which was very hot for the Badgers, 350 to 279. Attack errors even. Assists, give 3 more to Wisconsin. Service aces, 1 to Hawaii. Digs, great defense from the Badgers.
And our stats brought to you by Sears. All right, one game in the books. Wisconsin takes first blood there. And not surprised, as Wisconsin has played better defense and has hit for a higher percentage there, as Bogart opens up game two. And it's on a good note as Susie gets that, and that pass was difficult to make.
You notice the 3 jump servers for Hawaii are the 3 players with the most aces. Susie, with now 25, is 3rd on the team.
Will Oldenthal. That's her 7th kill, and she is killing Hawaii. Set to serve will be Aubrey Murado as Susie Bogart wisely lets that one go. And Hawaii is quickly opened up to a 2-1 lead. Victoria Prince, as Dave mentioned, All-American candidate. That ball looked like it was going out, but Wisconsin saved it as Murado simply plays it over. Here's Kamanao outside to Arnott. Off the high hands and out in a point Rainbow Wahine.
High hands because she saw the double block closing fast on her. Very smart shot instead of challenging it with a straight down kill.
Bogart now. Oh, tough save by Carlini. It goes outside to Odenthal as Kamanao quickly sets Gregory, and she's stuffed at the net. So tough serve by Susie. And Wisconsin doing what they did in game 1 is they're digging the ball a lot better than Hawaii. Kamanao quickly to Gregory. And Gregory for a second straight time stuffed right there in the middle.
Second straight play, Kanoi trying to outguess the Wisconsin block, but the middle blocker stayed home and pressed that ball right back on Hawaii's side.
They'll go outside to Prince, and no go, and Prince again. That's saved back in by Wack. There's Carlini, and Fotu saves it. An overpass. Oh, nice play by Kamanao to keep that one in play, but it goes out, and a point for Wisconsin. The Badgers lead it 4-3.
Wisconsin playing nice and loose, and you notice a sort of tense factor on the Hawaii side.
Kamanao. Prince. Check that Arnott. Now they'll go outside Odenthal. Locked it up by Gregory and Arnott. Susie Bogart with a save in the backcourt. Kamanao. Arnott hits the antenna. Tried to cut it a little too much, Dave.
Oh, lack of focus there. Arnott taking her mind just a bit off that ball. Turned it right into the antenna.
Substitution in the game for Hawaii. Carrie Gregory goes out. Juliana Sanders, another freshman, replaces her. Bogart. Kamanao outside to Arnott. He's off the block, and then quickly a point for Hawaii. Alicia is hitting with more velocity as the game goes on, but she's having trouble getting it through the double blocks. Simpson, back set to Odenthal, goes cross court, and that ball is out, and Hawaii has come back to tie it at 5 apiece. Did a good shot there of Peter Waite, the head coach of 6 years at Wisconsin. Outside to Carlini, blocked at the net by Sanders and Hiddle. Here comes Shaw, and Shaw just dumps it over the hands of Sanders.
Take a look for yourself. Sanders in the middle wants that one back, going up too early as the tip shot rolled over the top. But the Hawaii defense has to recognize that and come up.
Fine play by Alicia Arnott. Seeing that everybody was up forward, nobody was home in the backcourt.
That was like a beach volleyball shot, just turning it and rolling it over the top there.
Well, in beach volleyball, there's 4 less players. Simpson now, step out move for Shaw. And Shaw, a 6'1" junior from Muskego, Wisconsin. That is just outside of Milwaukee. And she played a lot of club ball there in the Milwaukee area. She is their leading hitter on the year, averaging almost 4 kills per game. Kamanao has to go way over for the central Bogart. After double block and out of bounds. Point Rainbow Wahine.
It looks good on the outside. When they have it under control, the Hawaii hitters are recognizing that double block and using it to wipe it out.
That'll send Tessa Fotu way back in the service line. The senior from Kahuku gets it over. Outside goes to Murado, saved by Arnott. Back set to Hiddle. Hiddle off the hands and in, and hits the line. Point. It's outside the line, and it's a point for Wisconsin.
Shaw, service. Fotu. Coming up. Bogart off the hands. That'll fall.
Susie Bogart, the steady factor for the Wahine right now, keeping them in this very close second game.
It's been 1 for 1 ever since we were at 5. We're at 8 all. Kittle, the freshman from Colorado. Simpson. Oh. Peter Wade talked about that yesterday. Jackie Simpson doesn't have a lot of kills. And she puts one down. Manao quickly in the middle to Prince. Fotu digs it up. Kamanao, step out move to Prince. And when Prince gets going on that slide out move, it's very hard to stop her.
Well, they have to have a good pass to run in, and give credit to Tessa Fotu playing great at the libero spot, coming up to pass that ball, allowing Kamanao to set the back slide.
Bogart, tough dig by Carlini. That's 4 hits on the Wisconsin side as the ball didn't clear. And a point for the Rainbow Wahine. So Hawaii takes the lead, 10-9, here in game 2. Glad you're with us here on OC16. Middle set to Odenthal, dug up by Hiddle. Comes back, dug up by Bogart. Can Hiddle come up with it? No!
Prince and Kamanao getting tangled up in the front pair. Good job of Kanoe just to get a hand on, bump that ball up, but it was too hard to get over on the third hit.
Kamanao, cross court to Arnott, off the hands. The right pair in the back row is Murados. Quick set to Reineke, saved by Kamanao, hit over by Prince, and that's not one, that one isn't coming back.
How about that for a defensive dig that turns into a great assist for Kanoe? Good job there to Victoria. Victoria on the spot, putting it away instead of trying to set it.
Prince with the serve. Already has an ace in this game. Goes outside, hits way off the tape, was Odenthal. Comes over to Arnott, block to the net. Kamanao saves it. Free ball here for Wisconsin. Odenthal off the block, saved by Bogart. Kamanao, quick set in the middle for Sanders. Sanders blocked and she can't come up with it.
Wisconsin says, we remember the other game where you went to Juliana Sanders. That time the block went up to Challenger and pushed the ball back.
Kanoe Kamanao says, Juliana, that's okay. We're still going to feed you.
You have to show the middle to make sure that they honor it.
Kamanao outside to Arnott. Arnott paints the back row. And Hawaii takes a 12-11 lead. Puts Kanoe Kamanao at the service line. Floater going over, dug up by Wack. Simpson quickly to Shaw. And Shaw goes off of Juliana's hands. And that's a point. Juliana Shaw, 14 kills in the round 2 game against Purdue. A service error there by Odenthal. And Peter Wade senses maybe a possible shift in momentum here. The Wahine with a chance now to go up by 2. Arnott. Overpass. Here comes Wisconsin. Outside, off of the Hawaii block. Kamanao. They'll set Bogart. Bogart to the back row. Dug up by Wack. Simpson outside to Carlini. Saved by Kamanao. Who's going to get it? Arnott does. Puts it over. Here comes Simpson. Over to Carlini. And for a second time, Arnott just looks at it as it falls in good.
Take a look for yourself coming into your living room. The shot over the top, and Alicia not even close to being on that ball. You got to position yourself in the hole of that block and take up that space.
So we're tied again. This time at 13. Here in game number 2, Wisconsin already ahead, 1-0. Kamanao looking for a set. Here it goes off of Bogart, off the block. Simpson, step out move by Shaw. Fotu's right there for the dig. Oh! And Carlini and Odenthal got a little mixed up there, trying to pass the ball. And the benefactor are the Rainbow Wahine. They again take the lead in this seesaw game 2. And Fotu two. Critical service error. Dave Shoji can't believe all these errors coming off the service line. Shaw. That ball goes long. Smart move by Fotu. And she watched it as it sailed over the line. We got a break in the action. Hawaii up by 1, and we'll be back right after this.
Let's take the inside track onto Wisconsin's side of the net. This is number 4, Jill Odenthal, getting a piece of that Hawaii attack, redirecting it. That time she got used by Hawaii. But how did she do on the third try? What is she going to do? Let the ball go. Hawaii makes an error. Jill Odenthal with 8 kills. A key player for the Wisconsin Badgers. The inside track brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. The power of yes is the power of possibilities.
Hitting .389 is Jill Odenthal. Wisconsin hitting .261, Hawaii a meager .160. As Reineke, Taylor Reineke, one of those freshmen we talked about at the top of the show from Naperville, Illinois, same place Kaylee Thurlby is from, on the Hawaii side, gets it to go down. Simpson at the service line. Another by Hiddle. Kamana'o outside to Bogart. Off the double block. Here comes Hawaii. Bogart again. Puts it in the back row. Fine dig by Wack. Here comes Odenthal. Blocked to the net by Prince. Here comes the ball again. Hiddle with the save. Quick send in the middle to Prince. And that ball is long. And Wisconsin takes the lead 16-15. Simpson, service, hits the top of the net, and a break for Hawaii.
Wisconsin making a conscious effort to serve Hawaii short, force the passers to have to come up and get that ball, trying to disrupt that offense, and for the most part, it's been working.
Bogart, dug up by Odenthal. Outside, they'll go to Murata. Oh, and Susie would like to have that one back as you watch it fall in.
Oh, you should see the faces on the Hawaii coaching side there. Their players just watching balls instead of being back on the line and being in front of it.
Service dug up by Bogart. Outside to Victoria Prince. And once Prince gets that step-out move going, she can get on a roll.
Again, if you have the pass, you can do this. A nice back set to slide high outside. Victoria Prince, lethal.
She's also lethal from the service line as she has an ace in this game. Simpson will go outside to Carlini. And in the middle, and she is long.
The true freshman out of Colorado, a rare hitting air. Usually she's very steady. Dave Shoji not sure what's going on with his team.
She had 13 kills back in her hometown of Colorado in that first round match. Here's Arnott, high off the block. Simpson, back set to Odenthal, dug up by Kamana'o, and Arnott will have to play into the back row. Here's Hawaii now with a free chance. Bogart, Kamana'o, outside to Arnott, off the high hand, saved by Murata. Here comes Wisconsin. Carlini, dug up by Fotu. Kamana'o, outside to Arnott. Sounds like a broken record, but this is the way the game is going. Back row, and Badgers will have another chance. Odenthal just puts it to the freshman, and Juliana Sanders hits the upright antenna. Point Wisconsin.
Well, in defense of Juliana Sanders, she wasn't expecting that ball to come over like that. Caught in between. She tried to make a play and unfortunately put it into the antenna.
And Dave Shoji has called a timeout. We'll take a break here. Hawaii down by 2. We are back to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's been all smiles for the Badger team. As you take a look at Jill Odenthal, 9 kills thus far as the Badgers lead here in Game 2, 19-17, and lead Game 1, 1-0.
Whether it's the Badgers' defense or Hawaii's hitting errors on their own, Hawaii is hitting just .086 compared to .279 in the first game.
Badgers and their fans thinking upset. We've already seen one upset as Stanford eliminated 6th-ranked Texas in the first semifinal game. Whoa, that looked like a little bit of a carry as Potu tries to save it, and then Kamana'o can bring it back in play. And Wisconsin now leads it by 3. Substitution for Dave Shoji. Sanders goes out. Kerry Gregory comes in. As Wack plays it over. Hittle. Oh, that almost looks like an overpass. And that's going to be 4 hits on Hawaii. Dave Shoji off the bench. He said, you got to keep playing, guys. Keep playing. Wack with the serve. Hittle. Kamana'o outside or not, off the block, but saved by Wisconsin. Odenthal will set Shaw. Shaw is roofed the solo block by Kerry Gregory.
Take a look, Kerry Gregory, the product out of Las Vegas. Great job of getting up and over the net and pressing that ball back.
18 serving 21. Hawaii's going to make a move. They need to do it now, but they won't do it on that point as Kamana'o can't get the ball back. And now Wisconsin 8 points away from taking a 2-0 lead. Well, Hawaii's is shell-shocked right now. Kamana'o, Gregory. As Kamana'o still tries to feed the middle. Kamana'o. Pipe set to Bogart. Bogart in the back row, and that's out. Point, Wisconsin.
Take another look. Dave Shoji was hoping to get a call there, but he doesn't. Is it in or out?
Oh,
close.
Dave Shoji watching his team losing his game 2, already dropping the first one, and they drop another point. And it's a timeout by Shoji. He's going to talk to the official. Wisconsin 6 points away from going up 2-0, and Dave, it's simple. Hawaii, too many errors. Wisconsin not making as many errors.
The passing hasn't been consistent. Kanoi cannot run the offense that they want to, and on defense, we've seen so many balls that they would normally pick up. Not hard shots, shots that are near the back line, but if they're in their base defense, they would be fine. If there's one silver lining, if Hawaii should lose the second game, they have been in this position before as far as having to dig themselves out of a hole. But the problem is, if Wisconsin is playing so well, the Badgers may not give it back.
You know, when Hawaii fell behind in a couple of games, like going 0-2 to Nevada, I mean, that's Nevada. I mean, you know, say what it wants, but, you know, Nevada is out of this tournament. The Badgers are still in. Well, Coach, so the coming back from an 0-2 deficit against a team of this quality makes it that much harder.
Well, Coach P. Wade said the Big Ten schedule also prepares you to play in big-time games like this. You can make that argument about the WAC schedule being easy or whatnot, but by this time, Hawaii should have it all together regardless of what league they play in.
Service by Odenthal. Kamana'o outside to Arnott. Gets it down.
How's that for a good timeout? I think the coaches said, we see something that you guys aren't?
So Alicia Arnott gets a point for Dave Shoji and company. A desperate point as they need to make up some ground here. Arnott, it hits the tape, play on. Oh! And for a second time, the setter, Jackie Simpson, she's a kill threat there in the middle.
It's all about picking your spots when you're a setter. Hawaii not even close to recognizing that.
Fotu. Kamana'o. Bogart. Off the ground. Off of Julia Sanders. As she keeps it alive. Here's Murata. And right in front of a diving Arnott. Point Wisconsin. And they're 4 points away from wrapping up game 2.
Murata finding that split seam. Puts it down. Murata was one time in Sports Illustrated, one of those faces in the crowd features.
Hit him. She's rejected at the net. And the crowd goes roof.
This is a replay Hawaii fans do not want to see often. Straight down, great press and seal at the net, putting it straight down on Hawaii's side.
Substitution in the game for Hawaii, Kaylee Thurlby, 5'11" sophomore for nearby Naperville, Illinois. Bogart rolls it over. Thurlby will gun off of Hina. And Thurlby is in for Kanoe Kamana'o. Thurlby is the second center on this team. And Dave Shoji is on the sidelines talking to Kanoe, talking about her placements.
He's just sitting her down and saying, this is what we see. Let's get ready for the next game. Unless they pull off a big-time rally.
Thurlby out to Bogart. Off the hands. Saved by Prince. There's Fotu. Here goes Bogart. Pulls it in back row. Saved by Wet. Here comes Ferrado as here Hawaii with a free ball. Oh, they wanted a left. They're not going to get it. Point Hawaii.
Well, Wisconsin, the fans don't like it, but they've gotten that same call on the liberal first contact. What's fair for the Badgers is good for the Wahine as well.
Oh, that set came out spinning. And they're booing here at the Resch Center in Green Bay.
Well, again, that first contact over. Thurlby getting a liberal call on the contact. Let's play some ball.
21 serving 27 as Hawaii needs to get points and get them in a hurry. Back set to Shaw. Fotu can't come up with the pass. And Wisconsin continues the Badger blitz. Sheila Shaw set the serve. That ball hits the antenna out, point Hawaii. Substitution in the game for Hawaii as Shaw sits down. Will be Kelly Aum, serving specialist. One who led Hawaii on a 10-point surge there against Purdue. Pipe set to Carlini, dug up by Arnott. Oh, and that one they're going to call. Kaylee Thurlby, not a lot of experience in this season. And she let an easy set go by. As now Wisconsin, their fans on their feet because they've got Aloha ball here in game 2. Simpson, the serve. Thurlby outside the Bogart. Bogart blocked at the line. Joust of the net, and Bogart puts it down. Wait there for the set. Carlini goes back row, and it's out. Substitution in the game for Hawaii. Juliana Sanders comes in. Juliana Sanders comes out. And Fotu comes back in. Susie Bogart, more importantly, will be at the line. Jump serve, dips down. Here comes Wisconsin. Dug up by Hiddle. Thurlby. Oh, and they're going to call Thurlby for an illegal contact. And that's the point and game. Wisconsin wins game number 2 by a count of 30-23 to take a 2-0 lead. Coming up between this game 2 and game 3 break, we have a sit-down interview with Dave Shoji. Our own Dave Vinton sat down with him before the road trip, and we'll have that for you coming up. And also, we'll be back with game 3 action, but Rainbow Wahine down 2-0. Dave Shoji will talk about it and see what they can do to right this ship. We're coming back to Green Bay right after this commercial timeout.
This live telecast from Green Bay, Wisconsin is made possible by Sears Hawaii, proud sponsor of Wahine Volleyball. Sears, Ala Moana, Pearl Ridge, Windward Mall, Queen Kahumanu, Prince Kohio, and Kukui Grove. Sears Hawaii, good life, great price. We are back to the Resch Center where the Wisconsin fans are happy, but you folks back at home in Hawaii are probably in shock, and so are we, Dave Vinton, that Hawaii has dropped games 1 and 2 to the 11th or the 14th rated Badgers of Wisconsin, and really it's no fault of anyone's except Hawaii. Just too many errors.
Unforced errors on the hitting, unforced errors on defense. We saw so many balls dropped at Hawaii. Their bread and butter, never say die defense is just not picking up. And to give you an idea, you'll see in the stats, the hitting percentage is just frozen for Hawaii. Hawaii down to 174, that's through 2 games, but if you just take the game 2 hitting percentage, it was .082. Other numbers, attacking errors, 5 more for Hawaii, that's 5 free points right there. Assists, of course, the Badgers have more kills going down, and they have the advantage there. Service aces, Hawaii has 2. Digs, more to Wisconsin, but really that hitting percentage of Hawaii. To give you an example, Tara Hiddle is hitting -200. She has just, off of 10 attempts, just 2 kills and 4 errors. Something is not right. Hawaii must settle the ship down, just forget about the first 2 games, take a deep breath, and start passing that ball up to Kanoe.
And time now for our 7-Eleven keys to the game update, Dave.
Updating those keys to the game for Hawaii. If you want to guess this one, it's going to be no and no. The precision passing is not there, as well as their second key, too. Well, for Wisconsin, serve it up. They are definitely doing that, applying pressure with the serve. And defense, yes, they are playing some good D right now. Let's see some highlights, or lowlights, as it were, for the Rainbow Wahine. First up, Tessa Fotu, the serve into the net, uncharacteristic of her. Dave Shoji calling one of his many timeouts. Meanwhile, for Wisconsin, the Badgers getting some help from Hawaii, the serve over the top, and the tricky set from Simpson. Catching them off guard. She only did that twice, but found it for both times, and then the big-time block. Hiddle getting roofed. Wisconsin Badgers can taste a trip to the Final Four.
Badgers led by Jill Odenthal. 10 kills, hitting .375 through 2 games. And we're just about ready to start game number 3. And if you recall, during the season, Hawaii fell behind 0-2 twice to Nevada. And then did they fall 0-2 to Utah State?
Utah State, they were down. They ended up winning that in 5 as well.
Okay, so they were down 0-2 on the road, both in Nevada and Utah State. They come back to win. This would be a monumental comeback of huge proportion if Hawaii can pull this one out. Bogart, Kamanao, quick set to Sanders, and it doesn't have to be strong. She just got a finger on it, and it falls on the Wisconsin side. Point, Rainbow Wahine.
How would you like to have been a fly on the wall in the Wahine locker room? I'm pretty sure there was a fire and brimstone type of speech from the coaches about getting back into this game.
Simpson, quick set, dug up in the back row by Arnott. Quick outside to Bogart, off the hand, saved by Wisconsin. Here comes Odenthal, hit it. And that won't be returned as it goes into the players' bench. And Wisconsin is on the board here in game 3.
Well, one of the changes for Hawaii, they've taken the libero jersey off of Tessa Fotu. She's now an outside hitter. I think it's in Tara Hiddle's spot. And Kelly Ong will be the libero for Hawaii.
Hit by Bogart, stuck to the net. Kamanao and Fotu, as Dave mentioned, not wearing the libero jersey. That was Simpson with a fine set, a one-handed set. Looked like she almost palmed the ball.
Take a look for yourself. Great one-handed set by Simpson that set that all up. Just a freshman. The level of playing from these young players is just amazing.
Bogart goes line, but right there is Wack. Jocelyn Wack, the libero, as Murado plays it over. Overpass, and a dump right down by Carlini. And Wisconsin continues to own the middle. 3-1 as Wack serves it. Hiddle. Coming out, quick set to Sanders. And that's blocked in the middle. Here's Odenthal off the Hawaii block. Kamanao is set outside to Bogart on the right side, off the block and in. And that's a point for the Rainbow Wahine.
Susie Bogart picking up her 8th kill of the match. She's hitting just 185. Compare that to her normal average of 215. Numbers down all across the board for Hawaii.
Dave Shoji trying to get his troops back into this game. Down 0-2. Ball looked like it was going out, but saved by the Badgers. Coming out with the dig. Fotu outside to Bogart. And Wack can't play. Is that going to go over? Oh, that would have been, oh, that's an amazing save. As Wisconsin simply plays it over. Here comes Kamana'o. Bogart blocked at the line, and they're going to say Sheila Shaw ran into the net, and that's a point for Hawaii. But right there on that play shows the digging and the defense ability of these Badgers.
I don't want Wisconsin fans to say anything about this ball staying in there. Those were two sticky digs.
As that serve goes off of Carline. And Hawaii with a 1-point lead. Hawaii can't afford to trade points with the Badgers. They need to get out to a good lead and conserve some energy for possibly a 4th and 5th game. Outside of Odenthal, and Jill Odenthal, 12th kill. She's hitting above 380. This girl is on fire. She has a crazy ambition, I read in her bio, that she wants to swim with sharks. I'll tell you what, she's sunken her teeth right into this Hawaii defense and taken a big chunk out of it. Odenthal sends that serve wide. Point for Hawaii. 5-4. Here in game 3, Hawaii down 0-2. As Fotu sends it across. Overpass, and it's out. That's a rare passing error by Wisconsin.
Have to remember, too, that 10-minute break after game 2. Wisconsin could have cooled down. It's often hard to keep up that high momentum of play after 2 games like that.
Fotu. Here comes Wisconsin. It's Carlini, goes right through the double block of Prince and Kamana'o.
Here's a look at that last kill there. The split block of Hawaii. Easy for the put down.
Maria Carlini sends it over. Arnott. Kamana'o. Step out move by Prince. And it gets it to go down. Right there was Sheila Shaw.
This is good news for Hawaii. The passing steadying out and able to run the slide set, and Prince putting it down.
Shaw to Simpson. Outside to Morado. Saved by Bogart. Can Kamana'o play it back? No. And she ends up right here, right in our broadcast position. And that's just a tough serve to get it across. 6-7. Kamana'o. Step out move to Prince, and goes a little low for Victoria. A critical setting error by Kamana'o. Tough serve, just clears as they go outside to Arnott. Dug up by Shaw in the background. Joust to the net, and Prince puts it where there ain't. Point Rainbow Wahine.
Good job of Prince staying in the game. Oftentimes when you make an error, you lose your train of thought, but she makes it up with the put down off the block.
8-7. Prince. Good serve. Dug up by Carlini. Outside to Morado. Off the double block. There was Sanders and Kamana'o. And I'm telling you, Morado, the 6-foot junior from Washburn, Wisconsin, a co-captain on this team. They're bringing some heat. Bogart. Quick set to Sanders. And that's what they want from Juliana.
A nice pass up to the net for Kanoi to set the quick in the middle, and Juliana making herself available once again, getting rewarded with the quick set and the put down off the split block.
Kamana'o. Wack with a nice save. Simpson. Carlito. There's Sanders. Nice set over to Arnott. Off the block. Wack is doing the back. She's like a vacuum cleaner back there. Here comes Dick. Fotu. Kamana'o outside to Arnott. And Carlini there. Overpass. Hit him. Kamana'o. Quick set to Sanders in the middle. Wack. There's again. Here she is. Carlini pushes it in. Bogart digs it up, coming out, outside to Arnott. Double block, point Wisconsin. And credit the defense of the Badgers.
Exactly right, the D at the net, outstanding. The double block getting all the way out there, forehands reaching, and putting it back on Hawaii's side.
I cannot say enough about Jocelyn Wack, the only one wearing a white shirt on the red side. She is digging up everything. Might as well call her Hoover, because she is cleaning up. As there's a rare hitting error by Odenthal. But Jocelyn Wack.
Well, she has big-time credentials, a Fab 50 recruit, a two-time Gatorade State High School Player of the Year.
Her brother plays volleyball at UC Santa Barbara, a school that recruited her, but she decided to stay home in Wisconsin.
And look at that, Hawaii has a 2-point lead. When was the last time we saw that?
In this match, I can't remember, Dave. Arnott. Good serve. Dug up in the back row by Murata. Outside, they're going to call a double hit. Sanders. And the referee calling it really close to the vest on the setting on both sides. Substitution in the game. That's number 9, Marianne Wiedner, a 6'1" senior from Warrenville, Illinois. As the Wisconsin fans are really getting into it. Here comes Odenthal. She goes cross court, and it's out. And Hawaii now with a 4-point lead.
Odenthal with just her 3rd error of the game off of that swing.
Timeout on the court. Hawaii leads it here in game 3 by 4. Stay with us. The Fox River, a stretch of water that bisects the city of Green Bay. And they call it Green Bay because it sits on a bay. Green Bay, which is part of Lake Michigan in the upper Wisconsin area. Some Hawaii fans there waving the tea leaves as Alicia Arnott set the serve. Hawaii enjoying its biggest lead of this game, 4 points. Arnott, Simpson, quick set. And Reineke has Bogart with a free chance. There's Wack there in the back. Back set to Odenthal. Off the Hawaii ball. Hittle saves it. Out to Bogart. Simpson. Odenthal will go cross court to Murata. Check that Carlini. And Carlini puts it in front of a diving Kamana'o to end the Hawaii run. Jocelyn Wack. Libero. Good serve. Quick set to Juliana Sanders, and we've seen that before. Juliana quickly goes out, and Victoria Prince comes back in. Hawaii leading 14-10.
I'm sure the Hawaii coaches said they're loading up on our outside hitters. Let's have some attack out of the middle. And again, if that gets going, it frees up the outside hitters.
Here's Carlini. Goes cross court. Off. He's wearing the libero jersey now. Here comes quick set in the middle of Prince, and Victoria Prince hammers it home.
This is looking more like the Hawaii attack that we know. Good defense and good passing, and this is what happens. Kanoi setting the quick in the middle, and Victoria Prince putting it down. That is Prince's 9th kill of the game.
Off the serve. Wack. Outside of Carlini goes cross court. Fotu with the save. Oh! And it just goes past Kelly Ogg. Fotu made a great block of the net, but couldn't come up with a directional pass. The It'll be Wisconsin, 11 serving 15. Bogard coming out, will step out move. Prince, and Whack can't come up with it. And Hawaii starting to feel that momentum shift a little bit over to their side. They need a little momentum. Down 2 games to none. Tesa Fotu from Laie. That's why. That off the block? No, they say goes line, goes out. A point for the Badgers. So just as Hawaii was enjoying a little momentum shift, it tilts back the other way. Here comes Wisconsin. And Wisconsin goes to its Big Ten hitter, Sheila Shaw. They had 14 kills against Notre Dame in round number 2.
Racine Wolford into the game for Hawaii, providing a little passing in the back row.
Now will step up move, and Prince didn't get a lot on it, but it's effective, and it's a Hawaii point. Bogard chooses not to jump serve. And there's Simpson with a middle attack from the set position. In fact, Jackie Simpson, 79 kills from the middle, hitting .273, so she's certainly a weapon there from the set position.
She's been averaging 1 per game, so that's probably, hopefully, only 1 in game 3 for her.
Wisconsin setting up the test. Serves set to Sheila Shaw, and Shaw can't come up with that one as Victoria Prince hammers it home. And Prince.
Here's another look at that. Prince stepping out and cutting it back on the angle shot of the step out move.
13 kills for Prince as she's on the service line, trying to get Hawaii a little more breathing room as they'll go outside to Wiedner. There's Arnott. Back row to Bogard. Well, it hits the top of the tape. It falls on the Hawaii side. A point for Wisconsin. The Badgers only trail by 2. Hawaii had a 5-point lead in this game. It's dwindled to 2. Simpson serves it. Fotu. Kamanao puts at defenders. Destination floor.
Sanders getting the quick set, stepping out, showing that middle blockers can take care of the ball too.
19 serving 16. Whack. Simpson back to Oldenthal. This ball is rejected at the net. And a fine block by Alicia Arnott.
And Sanders too.
Sanders a threat offensively and defensively, teaming up that time with Arnott for the double block. So Hawaii, 4-point lead. Kamanao on the service line. Overpass, free point for Hawaii. Kamanao outside to Arnott, and that'll go off Carlini's hands. It's not coming back, and Hawaii now leads it by 5.
They give Kamanao almost an ace because that forced the pass, and this was the result. Arnott getting the kill.
Peter Wade calls timeout. Timeout on the court. Hawaii leading by 5, and we'll be back live in Green Bay right after this.
UH Athletics Director Herman Frazier in the house as he looks up at the score. He likes what he sees thus far in Game 3. But the Rainbow Wahine down 2-0. But they're on a little roll right now, leading by 5, and Kanoe Kamana'o sends it over. Here is Simpson for the Badgers, outside to Murado. Fotu will set our knot on the outside. High hand, and it's into the back corner. And Hawaii has its biggest lead of this game, 6 points.
Arnott doing a nice job of looping the ball into the deep part of the court in the corner there, picking up her 10th kill of the game.
Whack with a bad pass as they have to simply play it over. Here comes a quick set to Juliana Sanders, and Sanders providing some much-needed muscle in the middle. Sanders with her 6th kill of the night.
Sanders out of Castle High School putting that ball down and making Knight fans back in the islands happy.
The WAC all-freshman team selection this year, Juliana Sanders. As now Hawaii senses a kill here. As Murado puts it in front of a diving Tara Hiddle. And that ends Hawaii's run right there. But Hawaii still leads it 6 here. 7 points away from closing out Game 3. Hiddle, quick set to Sanders. Sanders puts it over. Saved by Hawaii. Here comes Arnott, block of the net. Arnott, are they going to get it over back? Fine defensive and offensive move by Alicia Arnott. And Hawaii leads at 24-17. Trying to keep their winning streak alive. Now at 30-0. Kamana'o, back set to Fotu. Fotu keeps it in. Whack. Simpson outside to Carlini. And Carlini gets it off the tape and down. It's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Here it is for yourself, pounding the tape and getting the dance and over, just finding the court.
Are playing in the state of Wisconsin. They've been getting the hits and calls, and that one hits the antenna. And a hitting error on Susie Bogart.
And that also gets the crowd back into it on back-to-back plays and points for the Badgers.
Crowd's been a big part of this Badger run here as Tessa Fotu hammers it home. And the former Kuhuku star gives Hawaii its 25th point.
The versatile Fotu can play just about everywhere, including the emergency center. You saw her as the libero to start this game, and now she's the opposite hitter.
The utility infielder. Dave Shoji has her all over the place. Started at libero as this one goes wide. Gillian's serve goes out. But getting back to Fotu. He's just a remarkable player, a senior. Her last year, of course, giving up the scholarship at HBU. Playing with the Wahine as Jill Odenfall's serve goes long. And so the Wahine now 4 points away from climbing back into this match. Dave Shoji probably on the sidelines. Girls, don't lose the focus. Keep it in rhythm. Fotu. Whack. Outside now to Carlini. Off the block. Saved by Odenthal. But Whack isn't going to bring that one back.
Bogart being aggressive instead of passing that ball up, decides to just give it a little touch. Caught the Badgers off guard.
And you can feel the momentum. Some call it the money. Switching towards the Hawaii side as they're now 3 away. Kamana'o, step out move by Prince, blocked at the net. Here come the Badgers. Another, that's a deal. Oh! And that was going to be a difficult move for Sheila Shaw, who made the block and had to come all the way around on her own step-out move, and she hits it into the net.
Well, it's tough for Susie Bogart as well. She tried to block it in the middle, thought the play might be dumped, and she tried to get back out there. Luckily, it was put into the tape on the outside.
Hawaii now with a 28-20 lead as Fotu now serves. Here come the Badgers. Sheila Shaw, and that ball is... Oh, boy. Woo! From my angle, David, looked out.
Take a look, see if the angle, can you tell it? Close, is what I'll say.
Arnott Out to Bogart, off the block and in, and a point for Hawaii.
No doubt about that one. Bogart picking up her 10th kill right here. Going hard angle, cutting it inside the block. They took away her line. Good vision.
And the few Hawaii fans that are here in the house are on their feet as it is aloha ball. As Bogart sends it over. Oh, good serve. They'll go outside and that'll be outside. Murano hits it off the Hawaii block, and it staves off a game point for the Badgers.
But they need 7 natural points to tie up this game, and that's a hard thing to do in rally scoring.
Quick serve inside the Prince. Prince blocked to the net, but saved by Prince. Hollander not from the outside. And that's going to be a violation. Into the net is Wisconsin. Point Hawaii. Game Hawaii. 30-22. We're going to take a timeout here, and Hawaii needed that one as they come back to win 30-22 and are down 2-1. We'll be back live here to the regional semifinals, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin, right after this.
To the antenna, Victoria Prince leading all players with 13 kills. The inside track brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. The power of yes is the power of possibilities. And Russ, I'm starting to believe maybe a comeback here.
There is a possibility as we take a look at our Game 3 stats, and I'm just going to lay a wager, even though that we're not in Reno, Nevada, Dave, I'm going to wager that the Game 3 stats favor Hawaii. They came back.
Definite turnaround there. Good passing led to consistent hitting after the good sets from Kanoi Kamanao. And I'm sure the higher percentage in the hitting percentage will be reflected. Take a look at the numbers. Sure enough, Hawaii is raising that. Now remember, this is all the way through 3 games now. Is now up to a healthy 209 as opposed to being anemic before that. 50 kills to Hawaii, still getting out-killed by the Badgers. Attacking errors, Hawaii still leads that category. Assist, Hawaii is down by 1. Service aces, Hawaii 4, and digs. Hawaii down a bit, but again, these are through 3 games.
Right, Game 3 stats, brought to you by Sears, of course, are stats for 3 games. But in Game 3, Hawaii seemed to have found its rhythm, seemed to have found its game. Those first 2 games, they were so, off-kilter. As Kamanao gets it in play for Game 3, and there's a hard shot by Murano, as now Arnott will simply play it over. Free ball now for the Badgers. Oh, and a little timing issue there by Shaw. She wanted to jump, she saw the ball wasn't going to be there. She just tried to hit it over, she hit it right into the net.
Speaking of timing, Alicia Arnott did a good job of delaying her block, not going up too soon to make sure she could be all over that ball.
Simpson outside to Murata on a double block, and it falls in, and Hawaii comes out on fire here in game 4.
The block party continues. Left side, right side.
Manalo serve. Dug up by Wisconsin, and Sheila Shaw, she didn't get a lot on it, but it was enough to put it down. And Wisconsin's on the board, trailing 1-2. You know, during that last game day when Wisconsin was down so many points, you know, as not goes off the block and it hits the antenna, it's a point for Hawaii. You know, Wisconsin fought off 9 game points against Notre Dame in that round 2. They came back from 9 game points that the Irish had.
Sure, it wasn't a given.
It wasn't a given, so these Badgers have a way of coming back. So I didn't have a chance to mention it at that time. But just never say die in these Badgers. Bogart sends it to the back row. There's Wack. Murata sends it across. Dug up by... It goes outside the Fotu, and it hits the line. And it's a point for the Rainbow Wahine.
I like that set. Kanoe Kamanau having faith in Fotu as a hitter. A great back set, and then Fotu hits the line shot.
Arnott with the serve. Simpson. Oh, she tried to go right there, Juliana Sanders. As Sanders hits it again. Quick set inside, and there's Hill. And Arnott will play it over. Into the goal! And just like Hawaii was napping in games 1 and 2, they catch the Badgers taking a nap.
Hawaii has found that fire, and they're getting it done on defense. There's Hiddle with a shovel dig.
We're taking a quick timeout. We'll be back to Green Bay, Wisconsin, where Hawaii leads. We're back here at Green Bay, where Hawaii leads it 5-1. Nice hat.
I like the spirit. Holiday's coming up right around the corner. Was that reindeer or was that maybe an antelope?
You find all kinds up here in the upper Midwest. Some of the Bow fans cheering on the team here. Clearly outnumbered by the Wisconsin fans. You can tell they're all in red. Outside to Murata, dug up by Arnott. Coming out outside to Gregory. Check that, that is Bogart. And they push it over, and it's in. The Wisconsin pass across the net was in, and it's a point for the Badgers. That'll put Jackie Simpson at the service line. Doesn't jump serve. Set to Fotu. Fotu. Off the block and down, doesn't come across the net, and is the point for Hawaii.
Murata not getting up and over the net to press that ball over, all on her side of the net.
Leon doesn't have the libero shirt on, serves it. Simpson, step up move to Reineke. And here's coming out with the Bogart off the high hands, but dug up in the back row. Odenthal saves it for Wisconsin. Here's Murata coming out. Bogart has to go across and off the hands and down and in.
Oh, a nice roll shot from Susie Bogart. The block drifted over to cover it. So she does the beat shot. Check it out from the reverse angle. Just cutting it inside and rolling it into the middle of the court. Good job, Susie Bogart.
Good adjustment by the 6'2 junior. Hogg clears the net. Pipe set to Odenthal. It was just a matter of time before the 6-foot senior outside hitter gets on track.
And into the game as the libero is Racine Wolford, the 5'7" freshman
from Iolani School. Played in 26 games thus far, 21 digs. And that's a double block by Wisconsin.
Good job of the block this time, pressing at the net and sealing it. A rare block of Victoria Prince, who usually has the vision to see around the block.
Serve coming over by Murado. Back set to Prince and dug up by Whack. Odenthal. Here's Bogart. Oh, off the block, but can Arnott save it? And Bogart puts it over, yes, and it's in! A smart heads-up move by Susie Bogart.
That's why you never give up on the ball. Play until you hear that whistle. Susie Bogart tipping it over. First up, pinball defense and the tip down, and Wisconsin had the best seat in the house watching all of that.
Fotu. She's done that a few times in this game, trying to get that ball to dip over the net just inside the 3-meter line. But if you're going to take chances like that, there's a risk and there's rewards. Bogart digs it up. Kamana'o will pipe set. Arnott puts it in the back row. There's Whack. Overpass off of Sheila Shaw. And harmlessly down on the Wisconsin side. Point Rainbow Wahine.
First up, I want to give credit to Alicia Arnott. She faced a triple block on that pipe set out of the back row. And then Susie Bogart putting it down.
Bogart floats it over right there to pick it up. And it comes up to Sheila Shaw. And she's double blocked. And it's Kamana'o and Prince, and they're fired up, Dave.
This is a different Hawaii team than games 1 and 2. Here it is, that block, pushing the ball onto the Wisconsin side.
Back set. And that was to Odenthal. And Odenthal coming from the right side, her natural hitting position.
Odenthal, quite a student. Her major is genetics.
The block, Odenthal saves it. Quickly out there is Simpson. Cross court over to Carlini. Free ball for Hawaii. Quick set in the middle to Prince. And right there was a double block of Shaw and Carlini.
That was a bit of a trap set. Victoria Prince didn't have anywhere to go, and those hands were just waiting for her and put it down.
Once down by 5, the Badgers now find themselves down by 3. As the crowd chants, "Let's go Red." Hits it to another double block. And Wisconsin down by 2.
Sheila Shaw doing a good job of taking away the angle.
Timeout on the court. Hawaii was up by 5. They're only up by 2, and we'll be back.
Frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
The great voice of NFL films, John Fresenda, coined that phrase to characterize the playing surface there of Lambeau Field, home of the Greenback Packers, which is right across the street from where we are at the Rice Center. Of course, the Rainbow Wahine toured Lambeau Field yesterday. Got a nice tour of the place. Very impressed with it. And Hawaii's got to be very impressed with this Badger run right now. As Wisconsin down by 5, they've closed the gap now to 1. Odenthal, the serve. Bogart. Kamanao. Step out move for Prince. Dug up by Odenthal. Outside to Carlini. Double right there. Kamanao and Prince. And that's a good way to stop the Badger run.
And that's a good double block there, reaching over and pressing the ball down. Perfect seal at the net. No chance of that ball trickling over.
Victoria Prince, team leader in aces with 38 on the year. One in this game, puts it over, dug up by Wack. Simpson, step out move for Sheila Shaw, dug up by Bogart. Outside to Arnott. Arnott with the double block. Point Hawaii.
I don't know how Arnott saw that little seam in the block, but she sure did. Put it through.
That was less than a foot wide between those two hands. Point for the Hawaii Rainbow Wahine. That's off the tape, playable. Here's Collini, dug up by Bogart. Arnott will play it into the back row where Wack has it. Quick set by Simpson, and Simpson. Oh, that tricky freshman setter.
They stopped her in game 3, but Simpson says, I still remember the shot working rather well.
That's because the Hawaii players are back on their heels, waiting the heat from one of their outside hitters. Simpson sensing that. Outside to Arnott. Arnott goes back row, and that's in for another Hawaii point.
That was a great jump by Alicia Arnott. Good double block, and she simply went over it. That's why you hit the weight room. With the serve.
Simpson wanted to do one of those things, and Hawaii does that. And it's a point for Hawaii.
Hawaii getting lucky with that one-arm dig there. And then Sanders alertly puts that ball down for her 7th kill of the game.
Sanders coming up big offensively for the Rainbow Wahine. Set. Oh, right at the line. It's 4 hits on Wisconsin. Oh, what a collision at the net, and you heard it thanks to our mic right at the net. Hawaii 15, Wisconsin 10. Hawaii desperately needs this one, or it's all over. Quickly outside to Murata. Murata puts them where they ain't.
Murata rolling the shot over the top of the block, cuts it back toward the line. Hawaii's defense set up for the angle. She gets the kill.
And for Murata, her father was her coach growing up. Hiddle. Kamanao outside to Arnott. Arnott goes off the block, and off the back row player, that was Shaw. And that's a point for the Rainbow Wahine. Arnott with her 17th kill on the night. Arnott, jump serve. Dug up by Odenthal. Block of the net, not go off the block. That was Murata. Hawaii formed a good block, but didn't seal in that left hand.
Well, that's tough when she hits the angle like that. She's just trying to wipe the ball high off the hands. Smart play on her part.
Simpson, the setter, with the serve. Fotu. Coming out. Back to Fotu. Plays it. Whack. Odenthal. Outside to Murata. Block with the net. Gonna go outside. Sanders and Fotu were right there to form the block, but Murata gets it to go off and out. Hawaii 16. Wisconsin 13. Fotu. Kamanao, back set back to Fotu, off the block, and they save it, can they? No! And Simpson almost crashed into the standard right here, trying to save that ball. It gives the Rainbow Wahine a 17-13 lead. We are in game 4. If you're just joining us, Hawaii dropped games 1 and 2, came back furiously in game 3, and they lead here in game 4. Off with the serve. Simpson will set Odenthal. And they get it? Yes, they do. The crowd wanted a hit. A double touch, but they're not going to get it. Play on. As Murata sends it over. Arnott coming out outside to Bogart. Bogart sends it out off the block. Point Hawaii.
Hawaii has taken the Wisconsin crowd out of this game. They were so loud during games 1 and 2. Right now, they're sitting on their hands.
Well, the only time we're hearing from them is when they're challenging the referee on a call.
Hawaii needs to keep the hammer down on the Badgers there and just keep riding the momentum.
Play on with the serve. Good serve. Dug up in the back row. Simpson. Odenthal. Oh! Jill Odenthal, as she has proved time and time again, Dave. It doesn't matter whether it's from the outside or from the back row. she should surely find the mark.
16 kills on the night for Odenthal.
Arnott, Kamanao, Bogart with a chance. That'll be off the block. Wisconsin with a chance. Back set to Odenthal. And they're going to call a net violation on Hawaii. And that's a point for the Badgers.
Take another look at this. A good back set there. And then number 4, Odenthal, putting it over. Of course, the net violation makes it a sure thing.
That serve by Murado goes long. That breaks the Badger run.
And you saw Kelly Ong watching that ball all the way out. She was going to make sure that ball was going to be on the other side of the line.
That was something that plagued the Rainbow Wahine in games 1 and 2, where they just watched balls that were in fall in. Tessa Fortu, one of 2 seniors. Could this be her last game? Tessa Fortu, who is usually a very dependable player, whether it be any position on the court. I think that's her 3rd or 4th service error. It's whacked the libero at the line. Good serve as Kamanao will set Bogart off the single block. A smart move by Susie to just put it off the single blocker's hands and out. Point Rainbow Wahine.
Well, a smart move from Kanoi Kamanao. The Badgers were betting by serving Victoria Prince that would make it harder for the slide set. So Kanoi said, okay, I'll just go to Susie Bogart on the left side.
They go to Odenthal on the right side of the Wisconsin offense. And she doesn't disappoint this predominantly partisan crowd. Bogart. Free ball here for Wisconsin. They'll set outside to Carlini. Blocked at the net. Joust at the net. Put it over. Arnott. Can she get it to go? Is that ball going to fall out? Yes!
Hawaii being very aggressive at the net, taking it into their own hands to make this happen. Take another look at the final bit. Alicia Arnott wiping it off the block, and then the ball traveling out of bounds. And there's Kelly Ong making sure it was out of bounds.
Victoria Prince, the most prolific server on the UH team, gets it over. Here's Carlini. She's roofed. Roofed. That time Sanders and Kamanao got the job done.
And it is getting quiet in the Resch Center as far as Wisconsin fans are concerned.
So quiet that we have a timeout on the court where Hawaii leads it 22-17. We'll be back.
Here's the inside track on Alicia Arnott, working hard for the Wahine, going wide in her approach, cutting the hard angle shot for one of her kills. Let's see how she can do it again. Same approach, same result. Alicia Arnott leading all hitters in this game with 18 kills. The inside track brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. The power of yes is the power of possibilities. And the possibility of this going 5 games is looking a lot more clear, Russell.
Oh, I like that possibility. And so do the folks at home as Prince sends it over. And there's a block to the net. Does it go out? Yes, it does. Oh, that was very close to being in off the Hawaii block. Substitution into the game. Tara Hiddle coming in for Hawaii, replacing Victoria Prince. Prince, who has 13 kills and hitting .219 thus far. That'll put Carlini on the line. Fortu. Kamanao quick to Sanders. And that ball is high in the air. Playable by Wisconsin. Here's Murado. Quick set inside to Sanders, and Sanders in a great diving save by Carlini. Here's a great dig by Hiddle. Outside to Arnott. Arnott off the high hands. Back row save by Wack. Puts it in the back row. Bogart coming out. Quick set by coming out to Sanders. Safely played over by Wisconsin. Coming out outside to Arnott. Off the block. Dug up by Carlini. Great action here as Morales hits it into Hawaii block. Point Wisconsin.
A nice rally there, won by the Badgers. In the end, Juliana Sanders needed to just press over the net just a bit more. You saw the opening, she gave the ball, and sure enough, it worked its way down.
Hawaii had its chances as it went twice in that sequence to Arnott on the left side, but they couldn't get it over. Kamanao. Turnabout is fair play as Kamanao with a quick attack from her center position.
And this is something she doesn't do all that often because she's such a great setter and has great hitters, but hey, she gets hers.
23 serving 19 here in game 4. Do or die time for the Rainbow Wahine, trying to send it to a game 5. Block to the net. Wisconsin coming back on the attack. Oh, there's a roof. Fotu and Sanders, a formidable, the senior and the freshman.
There's a look at the first block. That was good defense. It was eventually picked up by the Badgers. Going outside, left side, double block and down.
The oldest and the youngest combining on that double block there for the Rainbow Wahine. Illinois Kamanaos. Serve is picked up by Wack outside to the seldom used Marianne Wiedner. And the 6'1" senior from Warrenville, Illinois, picks up her first kill of this game. Come at a better time for Wisconsin. Quick set to Sanders, and Sanders finds the corner, and it's in. Point Hawaii.
Sanders with 8 kills on the match right now. Her career high is 10 kills. She did that twice, and right now she's coming up large for the Wahine. But again, they're passing so good now, Kanoi can run that quick set.
In the game against Colorado, Sanders had 7 kills. Is that in?
It was in.
Oh no, everyone off the UH bench said no, that was out. The linesman called it in. And a point for the Badgers.
Here, let's look at this play. You often see this in rec league play. The setter shooting it to the corner. Sneaky.
It was hard to see on the replay there as a pipe set goes or not as she rolls it over. Dug up by the Wisconsin Badgers as they're blocked to the net. Simpson, back set to Odenthal, and Odenthal puts it inside the 3-meter line.
Odenthal with a big hole in the block. Sanders couldn't make it to the outside to close it up. Look how wide that hole was. And a player of Odenthal's caliber, she'll find the court.
19 kills in the match for Odenthal. Here's Susie Polk. Oh, and she hits it right into the Wisconsin double block. Dave Shoji is off the bench, shouting instructions to his team as he sits back down. Here come the Badgers, but here comes Hawaii first. Outside to Bogart, and she hits it to a solo block, and that's Odenthal. Timeout on the court. Shoji has seen enough. As Bogart first hit it into a double block and then a single block by Odenthal.
And that has gotten the Wisconsin fans up off their feet. They are feeling it. The momentum leaking back toward the Badgers here. Good call on the timeout for Dave Shoji to try and set that up. The block before, the coaches had sent some instructions to Bogart. They didn't want her to hit the angle right into the block. Second time around, same thing.
Kanoi Kamanao holding on to a 1-point lead as she has to find some way to get this offense back into it. Hawaii had a 5-point lead and looking to close it out with only 5 more points to go. But thanks to the Badgers' offensive and defensive play, they've crawled back into it.
And as far as their front row combination right now, her only options are Juliana Sanders and Bogart. Maybe they set up something like a pipe set to Prince, but it's going to depend on the pass here. If they can get a good pass up, Sanders will come in for the fake and hopefully create that hole for Bogart to pound that angle shot.
Well, they certainly got the crowd back into it. Just a few minutes ago, you could hear a pin drop in here. Of course, Wisconsin will be on the UH football schedule, thanks to a deal worked out by Herman Frazier. Wisconsin football. They'll be coming to Aloha Stadium, so this won't be the last that we see of Bucky the Badger. And maybe some of these Wisconsin fans, as they'll be on the 2005 Warriors schedule. Of course, the Warriors, in thrilling fashion, have qualified for that Sheridan Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve. Quick set to Sanders, and that block is up and out. And Hawaii now 4 points away from sending this into overtime. Kelly Ogg, freshman from Oakland, California, will take her time putting this over. She does get it over. Good serve, as now Hawaii will have a free ball. Kamana'o will serve Bogart off the high hands, but back there is Wack.
Get up!
Here's Olenthal. And that woman is simply amazing. She can hit it from all angles. That is now her 20th kill of the night. Wisconsin back to within one. Kamana'o will set Bogart off the high hands. Played in the back row. Simpson now. Odenthal, who's high. Oh, and they're going to call a lift. As Prince tried to save it when she reached back, but they're going to call a lift on Hawaii, and Wisconsin has come back to tie this game. Momentum certainly shifting over to the Wisconsin side as Kamana'o goes to Prince. Prince dumps it over, and it finds an open piece of court.
Victoria Prince doing a good job of turning a bad set into a kill there, just tipping it over the top. That's all she could do, but it works. She gets her 13th kill to match, and more importantly, Hawaii gets a 1-point lead.
Going to go down to the wire, Dave Vinton, as now Simpson will set up who else but Odenthal is blocked in the net. No, it falls on the Hawaii side. And a point for the Badgers, and they've tied it up again at 27.
Victoria Prince working so hard in the middle, having to close it on the right side and getting out left. Remember, she had strep throat just a few days ago.
Wack sends it over. Kamana'o will set Bogart again. Bogart puts it out, but Wack is right there. They'll gobble it up. Playing it over. And Hawaii with a free chance. Step out move by Prince. Prince blocked at the line. Saved by Wisconsin. Here comes Carlini. Blocked at the net. Sit down. And it's a point for the Rainbow Wahine. Oh! Is this too much excitement for one to take? As Bogart gets it over. It's an ace! Bogart! Who ensued the jump serve and went to more of a set serve, gets an ace, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Rainbow Wahine, as now they have Aloha ball here in Game 4.
Well, a lot of times the jump serve is all about confidence. Once they got a couple wins under their belt, they can do it, but sure, well, let's go safe now.
Bogart with another floater. Simpson with a quick set. And no, they're going to call a net violation. Net violation on Hawaii. Point Wisconsin. And it's 28, serving 29. Odenthal, their star hitter at the line. Oh, bad serve. Oh, they get it over. I was going to say that was out, but Hawaii saves it. Carlini brings it back. Kamana'o with the stuff. And Hawaii wins Game 4. 5'8", Kanoi Kamana'o, the best setter perhaps in the country, shows you she can block too, and Hawaii will send it to a 5th and deciding game.
That is amazing.
An amazing comeback for the Rainbow Wahine as they take Game 4. We're tied at 2. Come back for the 5th deciding game live from Green Bay, Wisconsin, live on OC16. The Rainbow Wahine with a thrilling come from behind comeback to tie this all up at 2-2, winning game 4, 30-28. And Dave Vinton, I don't know, do the Rainbow Wahine have enough to pull this one out?
This team, I believe they do. We've seen it all year long. They've been to 5 games numerous times and have won it. Just look at the stats and maybe we'll find out if they got anything left in the tank. Hitting percentage at .234, but that's not bad considering it dipped low after game 2. Kills, Hawaii getting closer to having as many as Wisconsin, 69 kills to 74. Attack errors is now even. Remember when the Badgers had a huge advantage? Assist, Hawaii is getting closer. Service aces, 5 aces by Hawaii and 65 digs for Hawaii. They are coming back into this game. Wisconsin has got a battle on it, and that young lady right there, Kanoi Kamanau, with the stuff in game 4.
A miraculous stuff at the net to give the Rainbow Wahine game 4. Arnott off the block. Here comes Simpson, quick set, dug up by Hiddle. Arnott back to Fotu. And that's a stuff for the net, and the first point of this 5th and deciding game goes Wisconsin's way. They'll play to 15 points. They'll switch sides after the 8th point. So it's like half a game here in this tiebreaker. Sanders leaps up high, wants to go hard, but just gets a finger on it, and Sanders been a threat in the middle.
They practice this all the time. You just use one finger to get that ball to go down. The excuse me swing works, and she gets her 10th kill of the game, matching her career high in kills per game.
Couldn't come at a better time for the Rainbow Wahine here in game 5 as Reineke goes cross court and Kamanau can't get a hand on it.
Here's a look at that again. They can do the step-out move as well. So popular in college volleyball right now.
Kamanau outside to Bogard, and Bogard gets it to go down through the double block. Point Rainbow Wahine, and we're tied at 2.
Susie Bogard finding a seam and the block just off the net, or that would have been real fast back on her side of the court. Susie Bogard with 17 kills on the match.
Ogg with the serve. There's an overpass, and Prince is there to make him pay.
Give credit to Kelly Ong. That serve was just like an ace because it forced that overpass that Victoria Prince so happily put into the floor.
This is the 6th time the Rainbow Wahine has gone to a 5th game during this season. As Kamanau with a great save. Ong will set Bogard. Bogard will have it right back into her. And Wisconsin comes up with a point, and we're tied at 3. So Wack, the libero, who's been fantastic there in the back row, serves it. Here comes Bogard. Bogard puts it down, and this time Wack can't catch up with it. And Susie Bogard with her 17th kill of the match. That'll put Tessa Fotu back at the line as Hawaii leads it by the slimmest of margins. 4-3. Fotu. Wack with a dig. Simpson outside to Carlini, and Carlini puts it in front of a diving Racine Wolford.
Wolford saw the hole in the block and was trying to cover that first, but instead it was the hard angle shot that was put down.
Back-to-back action here in game 5. No team breaking out clearly in front. Fans wanted to lift. Bogard goes high over the hands and out. And a hitting error on Susie. That's her 9th hitting error in some 58 attempts. As Dave Shoji looks on as his team now trails here in the 5th and deciding game. That goes long. And the serve is out. We're tied at 5-5. Again, 5th and deciding game only goes to 15 as Susie Bogart's on the line. Float her over. Simpson, quick set in the middle to Shaw. Bogard has to catch up with it. Can they play it over? Fotu does. Nice defense by Hawaii. Simpson throws it up. Pancake over. No, it hit the floor. Wolford with a chance to pick it up off the mat, and she can't catch up with it. Smart move by Simpson, the setter. Carlini hits the tape. Oh, and it falls in.
take a look at this. The tape being the friend of the Badgers this time, dancing and falling over. That is so hard to pick up because as a passer, you're waiting for the ball to come, and you have to go forward. It's tough.
2-point lead for the Badgers as a step-out move by Prince, dug up by Odenthal. They'll go step-out move by Shaw, and they'll go high over to Arnott, and that's picked up in the back row. Here comes, and Morado goes cross-court, and Dave Shoji will have a timeout, but no, they'll switch sides, and we'll be back to Green Bay in just a moment. Oh, some anxious moments for Rainbow Wahine fans here at the Resch Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Of course, you folks watching live here on OC16 back home as the Wahine trail in this fifth and deciding game, 8-5. Carlini now with the serves after both sides, switch sides. Kamana'o outside to Arnott. Arnott has to Cindy Pruitt. Wolford with the save, dumped over by Kamana'o, and that ball's going to go out. And it's a point for the Wahine.
Give credit to Racine Wolford for covering her hitter on that block and picking the ball up. And the Conoy tapping it down and causing that overpass.
Wolford goes out, and Sanders comes in. More blocking power up front at the net. And all she has been, an offensive threat as well. 10 kills on the night. Simpson outside to Morado. Kamana'o outside to Arnott with the right. Here's a block. Trying to go through the double block, but no way, Jose. It goes down. Point, Badgers.
This is a well-formed double block pressing over and taking away the angle shot. That set drifting a bit outside. That's the only shot she had available.
With Bucky the Badger looking on, Sheila Shaw puts it over. That ball's out. Yes.
Woo!
Oh boy.
Dodging a bullet on that one.
Well, in games 1 and 2, that ball would have fell in. It puts Kamana'o in the back row and serving. Kamana'o, floater, whack, picks it up. Simpson will go high to Morado, and it goes right back to her in a double block. Fotu and Sanders.
Sanders and Fotu waiting on that and pressing at the last second. Good job of getting this block up. Take another look. Forehands across and down.
Hawaii down by 3, now only down by 1. Simpson, quick set. Right there was Hawaii. As Kamana'o, a quick set. Sanders puts it down, and we're tied at 9.
That is Sanders' new career high in kills, 11 for the young woman. Take another look. Let's celebrate. Cutting it past the block. Good job.
Timeout on the court as the Rainbow Wahine, down 3 in this fifth and deciding game, have crawled back in it. Now it is 9-9. And the momentum, we talked about it, shifting one way for 2 games, shifting another way for 2 games. And now it is swung back over to the Hawaii side for this 5th game.
And of course, Hawaii having the experience of played in a number of cardiac arrest 5-game matches, knows that they can pull it out.
Like we mentioned, this was their 6th 5th game match of the season. And of course, who could forget that thriller at the Stan Sheriff Center a couple of weeks back.
On senior night.
Yeah, on senior night, the final regular season game, WAC game, when Nevada went up 2-0, and the Rainbow Wahine came storming back against their nemesis from the WAC Conference.
Somehow this team always seems to find a way to win.
Well, they expect to win.
That's right.
They come in with the attitude. Dave showed you mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, told us yesterday this team expects to win. In the early part, they hope to win. They hope to have a good showing. Maybe go 7-3, 7-4 to start the season. They've ripped off consecutive wins, and they kept going, and they want this snowball to keep going down the hill.
Plus, they truly play together as a team. They all root for each other and pull together. No real superstar, but a great team of players.
Great chemistry on this team, and can they keep it going? Can they keep this dream season alive? Here's Simpson. They'll go outside to Murado. Murado blocked to the net. Here's Wisconsin again. Murado for a second time. Goes back road. There's Susie Bogart. Kamanao outside to Arnott. Arnott high off the head. The Rock came up with it. No! Point! Rainbow Wahine. They take the lead.
Hawaii's block doing a good job of forcing her to go over with an easy shot, and then Alicia Arnott put a little something extra as she pounded it off the fingers, and that's why Wisconsin couldn't come up with it.
Kanoe Kamanao serving with a 1-point lead. Simpson will go outside to Reineke. And Reineke, the freshman, with her 4th kill of the night. He's been hardly used in this match. She's come up big right there. Ball goes over, Fotu. Quick set to Sanders, and Sanders gonna go off WAC and out of bounds, point Hawaii.
WAC having to make a tough decision. That ball looked like it could have been going out, but at this point in the game, you have to play all of the close ones.
WAC has come up with some tremendous digs there in the back row for Wisconsin as Arlotti goes outside to Owenthal. Is it out? It's out. It hit the antenna. The lines referee says it's out, and it's a point Hawaii. A big break as Owenthal was lining up a shot down the line.
Here, look for yourself, Odenthal with the ball. Great job by the Lions person seeing it outside the antenna. That's why they were picked for this match, is all of them are rated and they come into this. Great job.
So Hawaii, just a few moments ago, down 8-5, has now crawled back to tie it and now take the lead at 12-10.
Juliana Sanders has really been that spark plug that has given them that added dimension they didn't have in games 1 and 2.
Exactly, Dave. It's a middle option that Kanoe Kamanao had in 3 and 4, and now in the 5th game, that is setting it out to the outside to Arnott and Bogart.
Well, when you know the set's going high and wide to the outside, they can just load up on Arnott and Bogart, and that's what Wisconsin was doing when they were just blocking Hawaii off the court. But with good passing, you get the middle option going. It forces that middle blocker to have to stay true in the middle, creating holes. But give credit again, a couple of plays ago was Fotu and company making that double block. They blocked the first one. Wisconsin gets the ball, pick that up. For the second shot, the hitter did not challenge the block, looped it over the top. Hawaii gets an easy pass. They ended up with a kill and a point. So the block doesn't always have to put the ball down on the court. It just has to give them an easy shot to play with.
Keep it in play. That's the name of the game. And right now, the Rainbow Wahine 3 points away from making a dramatic comeback in this regional semifinal here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The winner, of course, taking on Stanford in the regional final tomorrow. Arnott with the serve, dug up by Merlini. And it's quick to Reineke, and Reineke, kind of an excuse me kill, and it gets it to fall in right in the center of the court.
Well, at this point, the teams are so high-strung, those off-speed shots can be really effective because you're expecting the heater, and then something out of the ordinary will just fall like that.
Kamanao outside of Bogart. Bogart off the block, puts it back in. Simpson now, free ball now for Kalini. And Kalini's blocked, and she's roofed to the net. Fotu and Sanders right there forming the double block, and Hawaii now 2 away from closing out this match.
Dave Shoji pulling all the right levers and pushing the right buttons. Of course, he was the ABCA West Region Coach of the Year. He's doing some coaching. Charlie Waite's doing coaching. All of them are making the magic work.
Going on. Oh, and that is and she had not had a service error all game long, and it picks a bad time to pick up her first one. This is close, folks. Whack. Or not. Kamana'o. Step out move for Princess, puts it down. They'll play it. Hawaii saves it. Kamana'o has to make a great move. Bogart off the block. Whack is there in the back here. Simpson back to Odenthal. Odenthal off the Hawaii block. Or not. And here's Bogart, just puts it in the back row. Here comes Wisconsin. Odenthal puts it down off of Kamana'o. And we're tied at 13. Timeout, Hawaii.
All right, let's have a 2-point game the rest of the way.
Well, if Hawaii can win the next 2 points, or for that matter, any team that wins the next 2 points, will win the match. But if it goes 14-14, we'll play until the team that wins by 2 can have that advantage. On that last sequence there, Hawaii not able to set up its power hitters. It seems that every time the pass came in, it was a difficult set to make to either Arnott or Susie Bogart.
And then Wisconsin going to their money player, Odenthal, who now has 23 kills on the match, leading all hitters. Hawaii's high kill leader right now is Alicia Arnott with 19. Susie Bogart has 18 kills. Victoria Prince 15, and Juliana Sanders a career high 12 kills.
The most important kills will be coming up, as Hawaii has 13. Wisconsin from the Big Ten, 13. 15 is game.
How about a Victoria Prince step-out move? You think that could happen here?
Whack is set to serve as this pro-Wisconsin crowd are on their feet. Kamana'o to Bogart. Bogart gets it through the block and down and point Hawaii. And now the Rainbow Wahine, one swing away from making a dramatic, unbelievable, improbable comeback here in the NCAA tournament. Fotu, the serve, picked up by Whack. Simpson, they'll go outside to Odenthal. Off the block, and we'll go extra points.
Oh, the pressure here. You can just feel it, how tight it is.
Odenthal. Arnott, a bad pass, and the play is over. Susie Bogart with a saving pass, and it blocked at the net. Here comes Wisconsin, outside to Carlini. Carlini goes high off the block, and an in, and Wisconsin now one swing away from taking this match. Maria Carlini. And timeout has been called by Dave Shoji. He'll have one timeout left as Wisconsin has exhausted its timeouts for this game. Oh my, Dave Vincent. Okay, in the 5 previous 5 gamers that Hawaii has had, I don't believe Hawaii has had this much. It's been this close. That's what I'm saying. It hasn't been this close in the 5 previous 5-game matches.
By the time Game 5 usually rolled around in those games, they were the team with the momentum coming back strong. Now that Wisconsin has given them a challenge and come back and has the lead, with 1 point away from them advancing, it'll be an interesting test to see if Hawaii has that extra something, that inner medal, if they can get past it.
Dave Shoji told us that, you know, when you get to this level, the talent is all the same. There's no differences in the talent here. And the depth of the Big Ten Conference has made this Wisconsin team a very, very formidable opponent for the Rainbow Wahine, trying to keep its unbeaten streak alive.
Well, Hawaii has to get a good pass right here to start up their options.
It all comes down to this. Jill Odenthal will serve it. And hits the tape, or not. Coming now, outside to Bogart. Bogart off the block and out. And Hawaii staves off match point. Oh, and credit Alicia Arnott for coming up with that pass on her knees.
Keeping with the play, still going forward despite the ball hitting the tape.
Ball goes over. That might have been out. Goes outside to Carlini. Carlini off the block, but right there is Fotu. High set outside. And they're going to call a double hit on Kanoe Kamanau, who is pleading her case to the up referee, Eric Asami.
He just wants that called fair, is what she was saying. The ball, though, had that little bit of extra spin on that, and that not necessarily a disqualification, but it usually will go against them.
It was a hard set to make. It's Wisconsin now with Aloha ball. Or not. Coming out, step out move by Prince. Prince, oh, dug up by Wisconsin. Coming over. No, they're going to call a lift. They're going to call a lift. A two-handed pass by Jackie Simpson. That ball stayed a little too long on her hands as she double-handed across, and you hear the chorus of boos from this partisan crowd of red.
Well, if both coaches are up off the bench and not happy with the officiating crew, it's probably about even. Wisconsin fans a bit stunned. Hawaii fans breathing a sigh of relief.
Prince to serve. Prince dug up in the back row. Here comes Wisconsin outside to Shaw. Shaw dug up by Fotu. Kamanau, pipe set to Bogart. Bogart blocked in the net. Saved. Hawaii can bring it over. No! And for a second time, Wisconsin has match point on the line. Sheila Shaw, the serve, later. That goes out! Out! And Shaw, they're all Big Ten performers, sends it long. And Hawaii staves off another match point. Putting Kamanau at the line. These players must be exhausted as Simpson sets it. It's saved by, oh, and they wanted a left. And Fotu's pass is going to go out of bounds. Oh, that was a big break for Hawaii, as it looked like that was going to be a lift call on Hawaii, but Fotu's pass over goes out. And now for a third straight time, Wisconsin with Aloha ball. Simpson gets it over. Fotu. Kamanau. Quick set to Sanders, and that'll go off Carlini, and the Wahine are still in it.
Sanders has come of age in this match. She is a player now. Kanoe Kamanau having the confidence to go to her in this situation where it's match point on the line. Sanders with 12 kills on the game.
Putting our knot at the service line. We're tied at 18. Here comes Wisconsin outside to Joe Odendahl. Off the block, or not there with the pass. Coming out. Quick set to Sanders. And that's going to go out. And it's out. And Hawaii now with the advantage. Oh, my heart can't take this.
I'm telling you, Sanders practices that shot with just 2 fingers. The off speed coming up big because everyone is so tense right now. So hard to move forward, waiting for those shots to come at you.
Arnott serving for the game and the match. Here we go, folks. Picked up by Odendahl. Simpson outside, or inside Odendahl. Oh, and can they bring that back? They try hard, no! Oh, and that was a pipe set by Odendahl, who made the pass, and then comes up with a pipe set, and boy, that rocketed off a Hawaii player, and they can't get it to go back over. So we're tied at 19. Middle. Kamanau, quick to Sanders, she's blocking it, and that falls in! Once too many times to the well. Julia Sanders, who had great success in the middle, finds a double block, and now finds themselves on possibly the losing point of this match. Dorado. Kamanau, outside the Bogart, that is stopped, and it's over! Wisconsin wins it!
for these two great teams and a great match as Wisconsin, winners of games 1 and 2, only to lose 3 and 4, comes back and wins the 5th and deciding game 21-19, snapping Hawaii's winning streak at 30-0 and eliminating them from the tournament. Dave, a huge upset by virtually the hometown Badgers.
Just at the end there, Hawaii's passing a little shaky. They get up some predictable sets going and just trying to make something happen at the end. Susie Bogard was forced into a bit of a trap there. Hawaii's season ends after 30 straight wins, but really, they should be proud of what they accomplished.
As the Badgers run off the court, we're going to take a timeout, catch our breaths, and have some final thoughts when we come back live to Green Bay, Wisconsin. You're watching Wahine Volleyball on OC16. The victorious Wisconsin Badgers singing their alma mater in great pride and great joy as the 14th seed upset the number 3 seed, and they're moving on to the finals where they will be taking on Stanford, who earlier upset number 6 Texas in the finals of the Green Bay Regional.
Disappointing for Hawaii and the fans out there, but I'm going to remember that this season was very magical and special for the team because in the beginning, no one thought they would be 30-0 entering this regional semifinal.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? When the start of the season, the only returning starter was Kanoi Kamana'o. Of course, the 7 seniors departed. Of course, the All-Americans, Kim Willoughby and Lily Kahumoku departed this team, and it was supposed to be a rebuilding year. What a job this team and the coaching staff and head coach Dave Shoji did with rebuilding a team that went 30-0 coming into this NCAA regional semifinal, falling to Wisconsin there in 5 games.
Let's take a look at some highlights before we call it a night here in Green Bay, and it is pushing past 10 o'clock. The Wisconsin Badgers, they had it going early on in games 1 and 2. And their big gun, of course, was Odenthal. There, not her that time, but one of the kills, Sheila Shaw, on the match there. The block was working for the Badgers. And early on, they were making all of the hustle plays and forcing Hawaii into bad situations. And here you go again, Hawaii's just unforced errors. That was really the theme of games 1 and 2. The Badgers had the confidence going, but after that 10-minute break, Hawaii, they caught a second wind, as it were, and they eventually got it and took in games 3 and 4, then pushing game 5. And that's the final point right there. Susie Bogart being trapped at the net. Wisconsin and their fans thrilled to be moving on to play Stanford in the finals tomorrow. A bit of trivia about Stanford. They haven't lost a regional semifinal once they've gotten to that level since 1998. Back in 98, they lost to Texas, but it'll be an interesting final of Agana Namani playing the Wisconsin Badgers.
Should be a sea of red.
Both ways, all the way around.
Won't be any green and white in here. Hey, give credit to the Rainbow Wahine. Down 2 games, came back to win 3 and 4, and of course, they had a match point opportunity there in game number 5, but Wisconsin proved to be too tough. Well, that just about does it for us here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. For our production crew, Token Creek Productions, our producer, John Brecky, executive producer back in Hawaii, Mitzi Lejano, my partner, Dave Vinton. I'm Russell Shimoku saying aloha and good evening from the NCAA regional site in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Wahine fall in 5 games. Aloha, everyone.